Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video review. And this one, somewhat of a retro review, though. For this one, we'll be taking a look at Dishonored Definitive Edition, a updated version of the original PS3 and Xbox 360 release on the Xbox Series S. The game can be played on the Xbox Series X and I believe PS5, and the Definitive Edition was originally released on the PS4, Xbox One, and the game was also released on PC via Steam, but we'll be taking a look at my time based off the Xbox Series S version, though. And if you're interested in any gameplay footage, I'll have a link down in the description down below, or you can click on the card that will appear up on this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And for parents out there, it is worth pointing out that Dishonored Definitive Edition is rated M for mature audiences only, ages 17 and up, by the ESRB, though. During the PS3 and Xbox 360 era, though, Bethesda, before being purchased by Microsoft in 2020, though, released a game called Dishonored, though. It was developed by, I believe, Aulx Studios, though. I believe they were a French studio, to be exact. And the game certainly got a lot of attention and was certainly loved by a lot of folks, though. I never played the original one when it came out, though. It was not until I had got my PS4 that I played the Definitive Edition and played it here and there, but sort of fell out on the game, though. It wasn't until I got, my Xbox Series S and decided to give the game another go, seeing that it was part of Game Pass, though. And after playing some time with the game and all, I kind of look back and wonder, why didn't I play this when this originally came out, though? And Dishonored is definitely, for me, a sort of, at least a Definitive Edition, sort of a unique type of game blending stealth and a first-person perspective, though. And it's now here seeing it and trying it again on the Xbox Series S now. I will say that this is definitely would be definitely a recommendation for not only for me, but it's definitely one if you have Game Pass, or if your main system is an Xbox Series S or X, or PC for that matter, though. So why don't we get started with the pros and cons, and we'll start off first with the pros. And the first one I do want to talk about is the world and the setting, though. I love the world that they created in Dishonored, though. I like the whole, it looks like a cross somewhat between like a little bit of an old time, late 19th, early 20th century of London, or, like Boston in a way, though, or somewhat of something out of the Industrial Revolution, though. But the world itself just is very impressive, indeed, with a bit of, of a sci-fi setting to a certain degree, not a huge setting, though, but still, the world and setting of Dishonored is definitely, to me, though, impressive, though. The next thing I do want to talk about is the gameplay, which can be tough at times, but it is enjoyable, though. One of the things about the gameplay in Dishonored Definitive Edition is that the game does give you a bit of a freedom to basically how to best approach the situation, and depending on how you approach the situation could have an impact in the game, and possibly the ending, to be exact. One example is that I had one mission that evolved, and sorry about that. One mission that evolved basically an old lady that it required me to take a dead rat to poison a sort of a whiskey or stiller place, though, because she had a conflict with a group of this gang and all that stuff. Now, I could have done that and gotten the rune, which basically powers up your character, but I chose not to do that instead. So when I came back to the place the next time around, though, I was able to meet the gang's leader, and from there, they basically offered an opportunity that they would help me out on my mission, which is to take out a certain target, though. So sometimes the game does give you a lot of freedom to approach the situation. You could approach it both a lethal or a non-lethal approach, though, and that will have somewhat of an impact in the game, especially ranging from what ending you're getting to interaction with characters, though. So the game gives you a freedom to figure out how do you want to approach the situation. For me, though, I tend to approach it as trying to be as stealthy as I possibly can, but be ready if I have to basically, get my hands dirty and all that stuff. But in either way, though, it ultimately comes down to what fits your play style the best, and also how you upgrade your characters, ranging from where you find runes and bone charms. Though some of these could be to maybe when you stealth kill someone, their body disappears, so you don't have to drag their body so no one else can see it, though, to basically the ability to see behind walls to see where the enemies might be located, or items, though, to even maybe be able to move quickly from one spot to another without being spotted, though. So the game gives you, in my view, really a lot of freedom to figure out what is the best approach do you want to go to the situation, though. And last but certainly not least, and this is for those who have an Xbox Series X or S like I do, if you have that, though, this game will run on the FPS boost, and that is certainly, it's a nice thing, though. It's very nice to see this game run at a good 60 frames per second, regardless of which system you own, though. Obviously, though, the visuals are probably going to take somewhat of a hit, so it's not going to look as impressive as, say, like on a 4K monitor or anything like that, since I have an Xbox Series S, though. But, you know, if I had to choose between visuals or basically having a solid frame rate, I'm going to go with the solid frame rate over the visuals, though. So to me, the trade-off is worth it to basically get it running at 60 frames per second. At least that's how I see it, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 2, which are the cons. So we'll take a little break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my video review of Dishonored Definitive Edition. This one for me playing this on the Xbox Series S. As I mentioned before, the game can be played on the Xbox Series X and PS5, and the game originally came out on the PS4, Xbox One, and also on PC via Steam. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there are really only 2 cons. One is not a huge one. Both of them aren't really huge. One can be somewhat of annoying. The first one I will say is basically the game, at least based on my time with it, though, there's no mini-map in the game, though. While there are maps that you could find in the game, to be exact, though, there's no really, like, any mini-map at all. And sometimes, though, this can make things, well, a little bit confusing, at least for me at times, especially if you have, like, trying to find, like, a rune or a bone charm, or trying to do any of, like, the certain side quests that might be in the game, though. So it can be you can get lost at times, though. Now, it doesn't mean the game's unplayable or anything like that, and eventually I was be able to find my way around where I need to go and all that stuff, but I won't deny the fact that a mini-map would have been helpful in this game and all. And last, but certainly not least, is sort of the save system in the game, though. Now, the save system isn't necessarily bad, but it's one of those that uses a manual save system, and you have to remember to try to use this, though, because if let's say you're doing something and something goes horribly wrong, or something that did not go the way you wanted to go, though, you may have to either finish the level how you want to play it, or you're going to have to reopen your save system and reopen your last save and all. And if you didn't manually save properly, though, you may find yourself trying to repeat a situation that you may have struggled with at times, though. So trying to manually save in the game, though, can be bothersome at times if something goes horribly wrong in the game that in terms of the outcome you didn't want to try to achieve and all that stuff. Again, this is a minor con. It's not really a big deal or anything like that, but it is something worth pointing out, though, that's having to manually save a game, though, or saving before having to manually save a game if something basically does go horribly wrong, to be exact, though. Overall, Dishonored Definitive Edition to me is a must-own, regardless of which version you own. Whether you have it on the PS4 or the Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, or Xbox Series S or X or PC or if you're planning to play it on the PS5 though. It is worth playing though. The world and the setting of Dishonored looks really impressive though. I do enjoy the gameplay though, as the game does give you freedom to figure out what's the best approach you think to the situation you are dealing with, whether you want to silently take out an enemy or not though, or if you rather go in, go in basically fighting the enemies head on with your sword or whatever weapon you have on it. And if you have an Xbox Series S and X, you basically will get the FPS boost, which is certainly nice though. It is a little annoying that there is no mini-map in the game, and having to restart an area if something goes horribly wrong can be annoying at times, but it doesn't make the game unplayable or anything like that though. This is definitely a fun game. I enjoyed it, especially since it's a definitive edition. It has all the DLCs and all that, and being this is available on Game Pass now, you could freely download it, try it out to see if it's something worth getting though. So it's sort of a win-win situation though. So for my take on it, this is definitely a must-own, regardless of what system you own to be exact though. Dishonored Definitive Edition is a fun game though. I haven't tried Dishonored 2 yet, but that's probably one I will get to though. And I do hope that at some point though, Bethesda, Microsoft, and Arcane could do a Dishonored 3. That would be really great if they ever get around to doing that though. But until that time comes though, if you're not sure about the Dishonored game though, give this one a go, especially if you have Game Pass though. I think it is worth trying out though. Okay, this concludes my review of Dishonored Definitive Edition on the Xbox Series S though. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? Have you played Dishonored before? Did you enjoy the game when it originally came out? Did you not enjoy it at all? Have you tried the Definitive Edition at all? Have you tried this game out on Game Pass and see if this game clicks with you or not though? Have you tried Dishonored 2 yet? Do you think they should do a Dishonored 3 if that ever happens? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!